everybody, welcome back to another video. And today we're gonna do just like a lightning round of rapid fire questions that Sal and I are gonna answer for you.
Yay! Okay, am I reading the questions or are you reading the questions?
You can read them.
All right. Rapid fire. Better for weight loss, low carb or low fat?
So I prefer a low fat diet, and then fat does have more calories than carbs. So fat is 9 calories per gram and carbs are 4 calories per gram. So in my head, it just is easier to reduce calories by reducing fat. However, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter as long as you're within the right calorie budget to have a calorie deficit, but my preference is low fat.
I like low carb. No, wait. I like low fat. I like low fat also. Just because like a serving of fat is like this much and like the size of your thumb, where that same serving of carbs is like your fist. So there's so much more food that you can eat for fewer calories when you're like eating the appropriate amount of protein and carbs and keeping the fats kind of low. The offset is things aren't as tasty when you're not eating super high fat. But when you're in a diet, that actually kind of helps you because if the food's like not super palatable, you're not as hungry all the time. It's like a weird brain thing that happens. That and carbs help me perform better in the gym. So I try to eat carbs and just keep my fats to a healthy level, but not excessive.
Yeah.
All right. Next question.
Is eating at night bad?
I would say no. Just depends on how you feel at night. And if you want to eat right before bed and your tummy doesn't bother you and you don't feel bloated and messes with your sleep, go ahead. As long as the calories within the day fit within your goals, I don't see a problem with it.
Right, yeah, so eating at night is not bad, right? There used to be the thing like don't eat after 7 p.m. or don't eat after 8. I think that was basically made up as a simple rule to follow, like Sal said, so that you don't feel super full going to bed and then also don't wake up full. And I think it messes with a lot of people if they weigh themselves in the morning. So if you eat a lot right before bed, you're more than likely to weigh more in the morning because maybe you haven't digested your food, and if you haven't gone potty, basically you might weigh more on the scale. But just personally, because I usually train in the mornings, I don't like to be like super full and sluggish the next day.
I will say with the whole eating at night thing though, it is a pretty good strategy to keep yourself from snacking. Like if you have a cutoff at night, like, okay, once 8 p.m. rolls around, like I'm not gonna eat anymore. Like if that's your rule, that keeps you from snacking. Because sometimes 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night, you're still up, you're watching TV. You're not really hungry at that point. You're just tired and you need to go to sleep. But if you have that rule in your head, like it's after a certain hour, I don't eat after this hour, it could very well save you from like going into snack mode.
Yeah, that's a good point. So it's not bad. It's just more of a strategy to use to keep you within the right calorie budget that you need to be in.
All right. So Mike, the next question, since you're a runner, should I do more cardio if I want to lose weight?
So you don't have to do more cardio to lose weight. I would say, yeah, like you can't out exercise a bad diet. Like that's one of those sayings that is actually true because you burn calories just by being alive. And so if we look at burning calories as a pie, the biggest piece of that pie is you just being alive. And then everything else gets smaller. So like exercise is actually just a small slice of the pie of what helps you burn calories to lose weight.
Pie. I would say, yeah, like if you're already generally active, like you're already exercising, 2 to 3 times a week, like increasing your cardio might help a little bit with weight loss, but the majority of that's going to come from diet. You're going to have to watch what you're eating. And I know I've talked with some people say, oh no, when I want to lose weight, I just got to do a whole ton of cardio. You probably lost a little bit of weight, but there's other things that changed most likely in your behavior when you started doing that cardio because you made that commitment to losing weight. Like you woke up and you said, okay, I'm going to start doing cardio because I want to lose weight. There were probably other little changes and things that you made throughout the day because that was already in your head that you want to lose weight that had more an effect than that 20 minutes on the bike or whatever. So do you have to? No. Is it good for your general health and your heart? Yeah, go for it. 20 minutes, great.
I think that's where a lot of people get confused. They think cardio and they think they have to be doing like the Stepmaster or on the elliptical for like an hour, but like generally just moving around throughout the day is fine. That's why a lot of times we recommend like steps, 8 to 10,000 steps a day, because it just gets that activity level from being completely sedentary to just moving around a little bit throughout the day.
Yeah. All right. You read the next question.
Okay. Should I take protein supplements?
I think you should try to eat real food first. So try to like get some whole foods, try to eat real foods in your diet. So if it's all cookies and chips that you're eating all day, you know, your breakfast is a croissant and a coffee, like you should maybe look at getting your actual protein from real food, you know. That being said, if you are struggling, like maybe you've gone through a bariatric surgery or something like that, and it's hard for you to eat enough real food to hit your protein targets, then yeah, I think supplements of protein powder or protein bar or protein shake, those things can help. I think the only protein supplement I'll typically use on a regular basis are protein bars. I don't really like shakes. So yeah.
Yeah, basically what Sal said, any protein supplements are just there to supplement your regular diet, to fill in the gaps if you do struggle to get your protein in throughout the day. But if that's the only way you can get it, then yeah, go ahead, as long as everything else is in line and you just really need protein supplements to hit that protein target. I usually just have protein bars, or I'll add like protein powder to oatmeal or smoothies. I don't typically just have protein powder in water and then just drink it like that. Like I know a lot of like people think that that's what they have to do, but you don't. Just increase your portion size of your protein during your main meals, and that's good enough.
I remember when I was younger that I would do the protein powder and water. Speaking of, that's a good segue into the next question. What advice would you give your 20-year-old self?
The advice that I would give my 20-year-old self is to start resistance training earlier. So I did a lot of sports growing up, so I was always active, but I just didn't know anything about weight training. I just was never introduced to it, when I did play sports in school and stuff. And I don't know if it was also being a female that wasn't, I guess, in sort of like my radar. And so as I got older, I just continued with more of like a cardio type based training, or I did a lot of like the hit stuff like P90X and stuff.
I remember that.
And so like I just thought like I knew you had to exercise. I just didn't know how. I just kind of followed the trends and like the DVD stuff, but there wasn't like all the social media stuff that you see now, where now you see a lot of women resistance training and stuff like that, and it looks cool, but I wasn't exposed to that. But resistance training just changed the way I feel, it changed the way I look, and so that's something that I wish I would have started earlier, so I would recommend that to everybody.
At 20 years old, I was still in the Army, and I had just I was already exposed to the gym on my first deployment, so I already knew about lifting weights. I had read like Arnold Schwarzenegger's Encyclopedia to Modern Bodybuilding because I was floating around the platoon. So and I'd gone through a breakup and stuff, so I was hitting the weights hard, and so it was really fun, but I didn't really know what I was doing, and I would kind of burn out and fall out, and I couldn't, see real progress or anything. So my advice would have been to hire a coach, hire a knowledgeable coach back then. And this is pre-YouTube and all that stuff, so I don't know if remote coaching was the thing back then, but if I had a coach back then to really teach me how to squat, bench, deadlift, progressive overload, all those things that I know now, I feel like I'd be further along. So my advice to my 20-year-old self would have been, you have the spare income because you're 20 years old, you don't have any responsibilities, use that money, hire a coach, and don't regret it. So that would be my advice.
Favorite fitness product you ever purchased?
I would say my favorite fitness product has to be my belt. Just a good 13 millimeter thick, 4-inch wide leather weightlifting belt. Because I use that. I use it every day, and I have squat shoes, I have other stuff, but my belt is my main thing. It feels good when I'm wearing it. It gives me some confidence when I'm moving stuff. So yeah, if I'm talking about a product, it'd be my belt.
Okay guys, so the camera died and we had to wait to get it recharged, so we're back. My favorite fitness product I ever purchased, I'm gonna say, is a good pair of shoes. And this was just like 2 weeks ago that I went to a running store and had my feet like measured, and they did like a walking assessment and everything like that. So it feels good to have the right fitting shoe for the exercise that I'm doing.
What's your favorite exercise?
My favorite exercise, so if I have to be honest, is gonna be the Bayesian bicep curl. So you hold the cable back here, and then you curl up, and it just gives you like an awesome bicep workout. You get a nice big pump. And yeah, I mean, I love working out arms, and that's my favorite.
Mine is probably my deadlift, and only because it's my most reliable lift. It's the one I'm just naturally good at. I don't have to put much work into it, and it just progresses, and feels really good. I wish I could say it's squat or bench, but squat like has just always been a struggle for me. Bench, I'm typically doing something weird with my shoulders, so it's never reliable. So I would go with, of the big three movements, my deadlift. But of accessories, little other muscle groups, I have my favorite exercises for different muscle groups. But of the big three, that would be it. The next question.
Least favorite exercise. So for me, it's gonna be squat. It's just always felt kind of uncomfortable for me because of my legs being long and having long femurs. So when I squat, I'm just like really bent over. And yeah, I just feel like it's not my strongest movement for whatever reason. And that's why my least favorite.
I would say that mine is a tie between overhead press and bent over barbell rows. Because overhead press, like I don't like that exercise. It's not something that I find fun, and I always blow my shoulder out doing it. And then bent over barbell rows, just same thing. Like I just feel like it always messes with my low back, and there's plenty of other exercises that will give me the same stimulus without having to like tax my low back. And I don't see a good carryover, for me anyway, for anything like doing it. So it's a tie between those two.
And actually, overhead press was my tie for favorite exercise because, out of like the more bigger compound movements, that one requires more like power, speed, and strength, I feel, combined into the one movement. So even though I don't lift super heavy on that one, I feel like the movement itself and the technique for me is actually pretty fun.
Yeah, if you're if you're thinking overhead press, squat, deadlift, and bench press, the overhead press is probably the most athletic of the three movements because it does take a lot more coordination. Bench, you're just kind of like, it's really not natural. You're laying on your back and stuff. Yeah, so yeah, I can see why press you would enjoy that. Yeah. And the last question is, what's your favorite high protein meal?
Okay, so this one's tough, but if we're going off like having to say whatever comes first to the top of your mind, then for me, it's going to be like protein waffles or protein pancakes. I say that interchangeably because it's the same protein mix that I use, and it can make both. But yeah, because it tastes great, easy to make, and I just really enjoy eating, when I make it a full meal, it's the waffles, usually like an egg white omelet and some fruit. And, it's low calorie, higher protein, really filling, and I don't feel sluggish or heavy after eating it. So if I wait about an hour, I'm ready to go work out after eating that.
Yeah, like my mind went straight to breakfast also. So like high protein breakfast, and like Christy mentioned, like the waffle or the pancakes, but I do French toast a lot. Like I'll make French toast pretty much every day because it's easy and like I can mix and match flavors and stuff. But it's just, as a meal, it's just a really good start to the meal because I'll do that with like scrambled eggs or an omelet, some like sausage patties. I always have some fruit or something in there, so I can eat a lot of it. The fat content's pretty low, the protein's really high, I'm getting in some carbs, and it's just fun to eat. So my meal is gonna be a high protein breakfast, French toast kind of thing.
And a runner-up, just to finish off the video, though, for high protein meal would be our homemade chicken shawarma.
Oh yeah.
That's just so good when we like marinate it, all the seasonings, have it in a pita with tzatziki, lettuce, tomato. I mean, it's so good. So
Yeah, you do it with I like doing it with white rice and making like a rice bowl. So I'll do like white rice, lettuce, tomato, cucumber, like just. But we make the chicken ourselves. Oh man, it comes out so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we had fun doing that. Hope it helped you out. If you have any questions for us, we'd love to kind of do another one of these where we just, rapid fire answer some questions. So leave your questions in the comments and we're happy to answer them.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, bell, do all the things. And until next time.
Bye.